everyone, it's Mia Bell with Mia Bell Natural Beauty Brokers. Welcome to another Small Business Masterclass where every month industry experts and champion brands share their top tips to create success for yourself and your business. It's really time to step up our game. And I know as a small business, sometimes it can get a little overwhelming. You know, you have to do all these different things in your business, and sometimes it's really hard to think about how to take amazing, beautiful photographs of your product. So retail buyers are looking at these images on social media. They're also hanging out just like you are on your phones, checking through everybody's feed, also bloggers and also agents of the press. I mean, everybody's taking a look at social media, specifically Instagram. So we are in luck, especially if you are a small business looking to up-level your photograph game on social media. And our special guest today is amazing. Sarita Coren is a holistic mama of 5 children and writes the blog Edible Facial, a blog dedicated to clean living inside and out. 2 years ago, she didn't even know how to work a camera, but started taking photos on Instagram with her cell phone and discovered a new passion without using any expensive equipment and not even a Lightbox or Photoshop, you guys. This woman has the tips that are absolutely going to help you make sure you're putting amazing photographs out there without having a big budget. Sarita, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's one of those pinch me moments because, as I said 2 years ago, I didn't even know how to take a photograph. I wasn't even taking my own photographs for my blog, so it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. And you know what, Sarita, I've been a reader of Edible Facial for many, many years, and I've definitely seen the transition that you've made from taking, you know, almost not really any photographs to just being the go-to person for photographs on Instagram. You know, brands are coming to you and wanting to work with you, and I just cannot tell you, your photographs are gorgeous. I know all of us here at Mia Bell, some of our brands are also utilizing those photographs, and ourselves we're putting it out there and getting it out to our retailers. So thank you so much for what you do, and I just cannot wait for you to share your tips. You guys definitely get a pen and paper because Sarita is about to share her first tip. All right, Sarita, I'll leave it off to you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, as I explained to Mia, I do everything in writing. So when I speak, I get a little nervous. So just bear with me as I fumble through this because I'm a photographer. I'm the person behind the camera, not ever the person in front of the camera. So that's where I'm most comfortable. But I am excited about this opportunity to share these very easy, actionable tips. Like you said, I don't use any fancy equipment. I still don't. I like to keep it really simple. I don't have room in my house for all the fancy stuff. I have 5 kids. It's not happening. So the first thing I wanted to share is that I didn't even have a camera when I started taking pictures. So I was using, like my little case here, my cell phone, which is the old Galaxy S5, and that's how I started. And I was very lucky because as soon as my pictures started to get a little bit better, I got a lot of really nice feedback from people who were just kind of watching me all along and saying, oh my gosh, you're killing it on Instagram. And I was like, really? Oh, and it kind of kept me going. So keep going. First things first, keep going. Don't stop. One of the things that I did that I think is really important is follow Instagrammers that you love. This is big. Start looking for the things that appeal to you and look good. You will start to develop an eye and a style for what you love, and that is so important because some people love a light background. Some people want a dark background. Whatever it is, you will find the style that works for you, and it has to be a natural flow and synergy for you to put those photos together. If you don't love what you're seeing in front of you, it's not going to come out well. So my first tip, I think, is so basic, I'm almost embarrassed to share it with you. And that is focus. You have one chance to get people's attention. And if your photo is blurry, and in photo speak, from what I hear, it's called noisy. If your photo is noisy, people are going to go to somebody else and they're not going to come back. You have one chance to speak to your audience, and it has to be fluid. It has to be clear. If the forefront, the item that you're focusing on is clear, that's fine. And the backdrop can be blurry. That's okay. But the whole thing has to be, you have to pick and choose what to focus on. Your camera will do it for you. You look like
absolutely. And you're using the Galaxy, and I'm sure it also works with iPhones. You just kind of have to double tap on the screen, correct, to make sure that it focuses. Yeah. And keep a steady hand.
Steady your arms. Put your elbows into your chest to keep them steady and hold that camera still. Yes, that absolutely works. I've done it. I've done chicken arms. I've done, up here, like whatever it is, stay steady and don't rely on afterwards trying to focus, because it won't happen. You can do a lot afterwards, but that you cannot fix. So it has to be focused as you're taking the pictures.
Your second tip is also just as great. This one's actually probably just as important. So I'll let you run with your tip number 2.
Absolutely. This one is key, and that's about lighting. You want to find your sweet spot when you are looking for lighting for your photos. Now, as I said, no fancy equipment. I found well-lit windows where a lot of light streams through, but not direct sunlight. I want to actually show a picture, which I'm going to find. Can you see that?
Oh, wow.
So now here's a photo where this was direct sunlight, and that was intentional. But as you can see, if you're going to use it, it has to be positioned just so that it looks like you want the sunlight there. This can't be accidental.
Direct sunlight really just washes everything out.
It absolutely can. And in that case, because it was streaming sunlight, it focused on certain things and left out other things, but it's risky. It's risky. And I can show you, let's see, one more picture. So now this is an example of a photo where I used my window light only. And the key is that you get a nice bright shot, and then you can brighten it up in your editing on Instagram or whatever photo editing you have. Like I said, I don't even know how to use Photoshop. So this is all with either Instagram or what comes with Google, Photos. I use that one. I use whatever comes with the Apple. Super simple, all free. And yeah, so I find that the brighter the photos, the better on Instagram, the more likes.
The more brighter, more vibrant, and just cheerful and happy the images are. I know, it's easy for brands to be connected with retailers that way, because the retailer can foresee, or even imagine what that brand would look like, or that product in their catalog, on their website. It basically just tells the buyer that this brand photographs very well. Also to press, it would say, wow, they look great on camera. Let's get them in. Let's talk to them. Let's see if we can do a feature. Just so many more opportunities open up for you if you have good images out there, or at least trying your best to put better images out there. And it's all a good time to start out.
I think that, sometimes, and I write the blog and everything, I think that from my Instagram photos alone, the brands that I focus on get more attention from those than from any write-up that I do on my blog. And that, as a brand, I also want to emphasize, take textured photos like that last photo showed, and I can even show you again. So even in this last photo, I have a lot of different textures in it. And these are different brands and things, you know, people look at the colors, they look at the textures, and they're like, oh my God, I really want this.
Yeah, and you know, it's just so enticing. I mean, all that looks just so yummy and delicious. I mean, it's weird to talk about, use those words in skincare, but really just, it is just so beautiful. And people just can imagine putting that, you know, on themselves, buying that for friends and family, and treating themselves. So I think actually you've just segued into tip number 3, which is, you know, really important too.
Yes, so that's backdrops and textures. It takes me a lot of different shots. Sometimes I get it right off the bat, and sometimes it just doesn't work to my eye, and I have to play around. So don't be afraid to play around and move things around. So I'm going to show you. This is the first take of a brand, a new brand, and I used a placemat.
Oh, wow.
I thought would add some texture, and it does, but I didn't quite love it. It wasn't working for me. So I tried take 2. I moved some stuff around. I started opening some jars and showing a little bit more that texture that I said was so important. And once again, I felt like the background wasn't quite doing it for me. And as you can see, that sugar sand in the front is not even focused well enough. I just didn't think that that was good enough. So I took this shot, and as you can see, back to lighting, not good lighting. I take it on a chair, so you can actually see the chair at the bottom of it. There's a lot you can cut out and crop, so that's a good thing. And finally, the final was this one.
That photo, I remember seeing that photo come up on my Instagram feed. I even actually was super compelled to check out the brand. I'm like, who is this brand? Wow, these are such gorgeous colors. Where are they coming from? So I'm on their website checking it out, you know, and it just, that's exactly what happens.
Absolutely.
When you have a beautiful image come through, you get click-throughs to where you want people to go, and that's really to discover the brand, right? And you did your job really well there.
Thank you. But as you see, 23 shots, you know, before, and I counted it so I could tell you that it did take quite a few. And one thing about that is the different backdrops, you know, because that's what we're talking about, backdrops and texture. So I want to just give some ideas what I use. I went to Home Depot and I got a marble tile. And that is my marble background. So I don't have any marble that I can use in my house. I went and I got a marble tile for the floor. So that's one idea. It's totally inexpensive, but that's marble. I do know somebody who found washi tape. You know, that's this tape, which I was actually going to mention that I use in my photos, the washi tapes, that they have it in a marble kind of washi tape. So you can cover like a plain board and create your own fake marble backdrop. Cheap, inexpensive backdrops are at like stores like Michael's or AC Moore or any arts and crafts type stores. I love the paper, plain little, you know, how they have that for scrapbooking. So I buy different colors and I play with them and I see what works depending on the brand and the color. For the black backdrop, I used a plain chalkboard. So this is super cheap. I think I found it at Target, and it's chalkboard. So it actually wipes clean, which is good because I put a lot of different oils and powders and things like that. I need something that will wipe clean. So a chalkboard surface is also matte, so you're not going to get too much glare when you're in light.
Oh, wow. Those are so clever. Absolutely so clever and resourceful. Just really everyday items can just create beautiful images. You just kind of have to, you know, think outside the box, right?
Yes. 2 more. This one, and this is from another craft store. I think it was Michael's, and it's they have plain wood planks and boards that you can make signs out of. So this kind of surface is just a plain wood surface. You can use that as its plain wood, which is very appealing in photos. I've seen a lot of people use only that surface when they take pictures consistently, and it looks great. You never have to change a background. Or I had my kids paint one white, and this is my white self-made backdrop that we also got at AC Moore, and they painted it white. So that's what I use in a lot of my white backdrops. So super cheap, super easy, got the kids involved. They were happy to help me create a backdrop. And those are some of the ideas for creating, you know, different textures and backdrops and stuff like that.
It all comes down to, I think, your fourth tip, which is, again, really making sure that everything works in balance together, right?
Yeah, so that takes practice, I think. Of all the tips, that one is the one you kind of have to play with. But I'll tell you, one example that I had was somebody had sent me a very large Christmas sock, you know, one of those socks to hang on the fireplace to take a picture of, with their very small skincare items. And I was like, okay, you know, how am I going to make this work? Going to have something a little bit bigger on one side, balance it with something kind of big on the other. Otherwise it won't work. And I have a few, like, I'll show you the one that I was showing you before, this one, where I balanced the colors. As you can see, so the products that I got, you can see clearly, the eye balm, all the products, but I added in the flower because of the color, and the matches, again, because of the color. Other than the spoon, that's all I added in to this photograph. And as you could see, you have a little bit of that color in every corner, or little peeking out in different parts. And that is what brings the photo together. I think when you are able to balance, look, this is another one.
Gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. As you can see, somebody sent me this washi tape that matched my colors perfectly. Really, this was about featuring Modern Minerals and their eyeshadow palette. So I poured some out so that people could see the colors and the textures. And then I used the flowers here to balance out with this, you know, with the little plates that I have, little, I don't know what I call them, little bowls and plates and spoons. Somehow they work really well in these pictures. And these are old dried flowers. I love old dry flowers. I'm crazy about them. They work so well. And again, you know, cheap and totally, you know, you don't have to throw out all your old flowers. Keep them for color. They work beautifully.
Sarita, I just have to thank you so much for being with me on this interview. So many fantastic tips. Literally itching to get back out there and start taking photographs. I have goosebumps right now because I just want to take action. And you viewers, I really hope that you're also feeling the same way today, and really are going to take these tips to heart and want to get out there and take action and really up-level your social media, Instagram game. Get going. It's not that expensive. As Sarita's walked us through these tips, it is very inexpensive to really put your best face out there. And as small business owners, you know, we work with what we got. Let's get out there and make big things happen for ourselves. Sarita, how can people find you online? How can they find you online and connect with you? Let us know, please.
Absolutely. So definitely on my blog, ediblefacial.com, there's a Meet Me section, and just click on it. There's a form that you could contact me, ask me questions, whatever you want. I'm also taking pictures for some brands, so that's been exciting. That evolved into that. My prices are still pretty low, so take advantage while while they're so low. I also co-moderate a Facebook group called Green Beauty Insiders, where green beauty bloggers and brands get to interact and network, and it's a great place to meet other bloggers and brands and learn a lot. So I hope that we see you there.
And you guys, I'm going to make sure that we put all these links down there for you so you can make sure that you're connecting with Sarita and asking them questions if you want to go on ahead and pursue that offline. So you guys, again, thank you so much for being here with us on this master class, and we'll catch you on the next one. Please, if you haven't already subscribed to our newsletter, go on ahead and do so. The link is also below, and we'll be seeing you in the next master class for more awesome tips coming at you to up-level your small business. Catch you later.